Good evening. We are coming to you live from the Delhi studios, and we are really talking about what happened in the Enron case. In part 2 of our series, we are bringing to you details about what happened and what has been accessed by Republic. For the first time ever, the entire Enron pages are out. We are bringing to you details about what happened in the Enron case as it happened. For the first time, settlement papers that have never been seen before are going to be shared. GE and Bechtel, two companies that had bought at that time Enron, when it went bankrupt, got into settlement with the government of India. This settlement and the details of this settlement that happened with the Maharashtra State Electricity Board and the government of India clearly prove hundreds of millions of dollars were given by the government to GE and Bechtel. This happened at a time when India could have won the case. When Republic spoke to Hari Salve and Soli Sorabji, as well as Som Mandal, who was the law firm that was representing India at that time in 2004 and 2005 in the Enron case, they clearly told us we could have won the case. However, instead of winning the case, India had to settle, India had to pay a lot of money. From the documents that have been accessed by Republic, we have come to know $160 million was paid by the government to Bechtel. That's the company that bought a share in Enron that had gone bankrupt. Another settlement paper that has been accessed by Republic shows a sum of $145 million was paid to GE. What's even more crucial to understand is who was the main lawyer of GE. The main lawyer for GE was the then minister earlier, that is P. Chidambaram. Now, the moment he became the minister and the UPA government came to power, P. Chidambaram recused himself from the case, but we are being told that it was the finance ministry that actually carried on the settlement talks in this case. Som Mandal, that is the law firm, the managing partner of the law firm that we spoke to, has clearly told us that the settlement talks were not carried on by the law firm and by the lawyers that had been appointed by the government, but by the finance ministry. Why was this done? Why was the settlement not really carried on by the law firm or the law ministry? Why is it that the finance ministry was involved at this point of time? We also tried to put these questions about this link in the Manmohan Singh government of that time, however, to P. Chidambaram, but he was silent. My colleague asked him several questions about the intervention of the finance ministry in settlement talks, but there was no answer from P. Chidambaram, the then finance minister. We're also being told that the Manmohan Singh government really needs to answer about why we lost or we went in for a settlement in a case that we could have clearly won. The point is simple. When the lawyers are telling us on record that we had a good case, why then do we go in for such a settlement? Why then do we go in for a settlement that on the world stage we are going to be losing face on? Remember, Enron was one of the first direct investments in the Indian market. It was seen as a show cause. It was a world symbol to show that India had almost arrived at the world stage. We lost. And when we lost so badly and had to go in for this settlement, India lost face abroad. This settlement clearly shows that not only did India lose, but also that fact that India was humiliated on a world front. Why did the Manmohan Singh government allow this to happen? Did the Sonia Gandhi government know that there was a deliberate attempt to replace Hari Salve with Khabar Qureshi, a Pakistani lawyer? Did Sonia Gandhi herself know what was happening behind the scenes with this Enron saga? There is so much muck that has been dug up. We're only on part 2 of the series, but clearly it seems Manmohan Singh and his team have a lot to answer. I also want to thank a lot of you who are writing in congratulations to Team Republic for this expose. But remember, our job as journalists is to question what was happening. It is the job of the UPA government of that time to come out and answer. Deepak Badwal writes in, great job. Thank you for that, Deepak. And also several people not only questioning about what happened, but we're also being told through our sources, and the political editor of Republic spoke to his sources who said the central government is ready for an investigation in the case only and only if the Maharashtra government writes to them. The Maharashtra government needs to write to them because remember the arbitration of the Dabhol power company was being done at the level of the Maharashtra government. So it's extremely crucial that we are able to establish that link and there is an investigation on the Enron saga. The third point we need to remember here is $305 million was a sum that was paid by the government, whereas there was a cap on what the government could pay. According to an affidavit that has been accessed by Republic, it clearly says that 300 million was the amount that could be paid by India, $300 million. However, it seems that the amount that was paid was $305 million. A lot more was doled out. 1,400 crore rupees is the amount of money we are talking about way back in 2004-2005. The second question that needs to be answered is the moment the Harish Salve and his team were replaced, 6 months later, this settlement was brought in. How did it happen? Was this a settlement of convenience? Who was involved in the settlement? Why is no one in the Congress openly speaking up here? Now, also several people messaging here. Joy Thakur is writing, all credit goes to Republic TV. It's an excellent job. Thank you for that. But the real questions that Republic is asking today is in this Enron saga, 13 years, no one has uncovered what was really happening behind the scenes. It's a massive expose. Why was massive amount of money being paid to cover Qureshi as a lawyer for the government of India when Harish Salve, top legal, was ready to represent the government at a nominal cost? The second point that needs to be mentioned here is we lost the case despite being told it was a very good case. How did that happen? We need to remember that there is something that was going on at that time that has clearly not been told. A massive expose, several people question, farmers have been abandoned. The farmers at Dabhol that we spoke to and our colleagues spoke to clearly say till today our dues have not been cleared. Remember, the Indian financial institutions, the financial banks were not paid. In fact, the provident funds of several people were used. There were several people who were in the dire need of money. That money was taken. It was given to foreign institutions, foreign banks to ensure that they were kept in the good books of these people. And yet, India had to settle on the world stage, humiliated. Massive amounts of money lost, massive face value lost. The Enron saga, as Republic is uncovering 13 years later, clearly pinpoints money was paid, money exchanged hands. We're talking about millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, 1,400 crore rupees is the amount that India went in for settlement at that time. We're also being told that affidavits clearly prove 300 million was the cap, but a lot more was paid. Ravindra Sinha writes in, well done. Thank you for that. And the real questions that we're asking on this Facebook Live is, why is the UPA government not coming out and answering? Sudesh Verma of the BJP has said there should be an investigation in the case. There are other people who are questioning what should happen. Chitra Subramaniam has spoken about what was happening at that time and how there was also a senior bureaucrat who was involved. He also probably made some money here. He got some kickbacks. The point is really simple. If everyone around the ladder made money, why has this not been investigated? What was happening at that time? Satish Kapse writes in, Dear Republic, thank you for bringing us the truth. Please go ahead and expose everyone and everything that's been asked for. Now, people are also writing in that we need to answer what was happening. Several people also need to know that this behind-the-scenes expose that has been carried on by Republic took a long time. We spoke to the lawyer who was there at the helm of affairs, so Mandal. We also spoke to the then Law Minister H.R. Bhardwaj. H.R. Bhardwaj was very candid off camera, but on camera he was very cautious, used his words carefully. He said whatever was happening behind camera is not known by me, so please go and ask whatever you want to Som Mandal. And that's the doorstep that we reached to ask what was happening. Fox and Mandal was the law firm that had been employed by the government at that time, and that law firm and that managing partner, Som Mandal, clearly told us the settlement had been carried on by the finance ministry. They were not privy to whatever was happening at the settlement. The second point that needs to be mentioned here is we were wondering why Khabar Qureshi had been appointed and top legal Harish Salve had been replaced. On that account, we are being told by Som Mandal also that you have to draw and link the dots. I beg your pardon, we are talking about Khabar Qureshi, and Som Mandal told us Khabar Qureshi was from Cambridge. Guess who else was from Cambridge? Yes, Attorney General of that time, Milan Banerjee, was from Cambridge. His son, Gaurav Banerjee, was from Cambridge. Apparently, there was some friendship that was being used here, and that could be the reason that Khabar Qureshi was brought in at a rate of 200 to 300 pounds an hour as a counsel in the Government of India's case. But 2 points quickly need to be mentioned. Huge amount of money being made by the lawyers is one thing. India losing the case after replacement of the lawyers who had told the government they had a good case and were ready to fight the case at a nominal cost is the most shocking aspect here. Not only did we lose the case, not only did we lose face, but the fact is farmers were abandoned. Till today, these farmers are talking about how they were let off and their livelihood has still not come back to normal. The Enron saga is such a case that several people, when you start talking about it, opens up a Pandora's box. When we spoke to Chitra Subramaniam, who's a Republic contributor, she clearly told us there is a lot more that was happening here. There are several people who need to be questioned here. We've also spoken to Shiv Sena today. They've said that there should be an inquiry in the case. The BJP is asking for an inquiry. We've also seen now the Congress, however, extremely silent. When we tried to get in touch with P. Chidambaram, who was the then finance minister, he says, I can't remember anything from memory. He's told absolutely nothing on record to my colleague. So questions by the UPA and to the UPA and the Manmohan Singh government are not answered. I end this Facebook Live with words that have been given by several viewers of you who are watching in. Shailendra Singh Rathore says, great job. Thank you for that. Republic will continue with these exposes. Do keep watching Republic. Thank you.